Hi there, my name is Brian Alexander, and welcome back to the Revolving Door of Metaphor. Since the last time we've met, I've been in quarantine in the hellscape known as the Southeast United States. In the last episode, we covered Godzilla's transition into a heroic character, shedding the last remnants of his nefarious ways. Godzilla is now a hero to children. The spawn of nuclear hellfire has been repackaged to be a mascot for the masses. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. As we'll see in the next batch of films, Godzilla retains its anti-nuclear message, but with a heroic Godzilla, which makes for some very messy but very entertaining films. Today we will be finishing off with Godzilla vs. Hedorah, Godzilla vs. Gigant, Godzilla vs. Megalon, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, and finally, Terror of Mechagodzilla. See? Mechagodzilla's right there. Right there. Boop. Godzilla vs. Hedorah marks the debut of Yoshimitsu Banno to the Godzilla franchise, and though his contribution might seem minimal now, what he does later in the 21st century probably has the biggest bearing on the franchise since the original creators. Just know that when this movie came out, Yoshimitsu Banno was banned from making Godzilla films for a couple decades. We're gonna have some fun. Godzilla vs. Hedorah is a very odd film. It deals with climate change and pollution with the subtlety of a sledgehammer or double texting your crush. It begins with a music number about saving the planet over footage of toxic sludge and pollution being poured into the ocean, which, it really makes the point clear. Thus, that puts Godzilla in a position of being for Mother Nature against Hedorah, the embodiment of nuclear power defending the Earth. That's slightly problematic to say the least, and why I think it's okay to not always associate Godzilla with nuclear weapons. We'll see this be a much bigger problem down the line. Also, by the time we get to this film, Godzilla is just a straight up superhero. He comes with his own theme song, he's got a lucrative merchandise deal, and Godzilla flies. There's really not much else to say about this one because the movie is so forceful about what it wants to say that if you don't get it, you're actively not paying attention. Godzilla vs. Gigant is more or less about the exact same thing as Godzilla vs. Hedorah. It deals with climate change, but it does it in a way that it's more, digestible to audiences, and it isn't so goddamn weird. Both films feature alien plots that plan to take use of humanity's apathy towards our current climate crisis. In the previous film, Hedorah was the threat, but in this one, aliens are taking advantage of how humanity is basically terraforming the planet for them. I think the film is really clever in the way that it gives us an us versus them kind of story that works really well for film, but still levies the blame for what's going on humanity. Godzilla vs. Megalon opens with a far-off nuclear test affecting Monster Island. Even to this day, Godzilla is still apparently victimized by nuclear power. Even the universally recognized good boy Anguirus isn't safe from the destruction. The plot of this movie sees the undersea kingdom of Seatopia striking back at humanity after these underground nuclear tests threaten their civilization. And this is where the movie kind of starts to fall apart for me. It's clear that the point of this film is meant to be anti-nuclear. Hell, the characters even say so. If the underground nuclear tests hadn't been conducted, Seatopia wouldn't have attacked. But Seatopia is presented as the villains. They send their god, Megalon, to destroy the surface civilizations, and they call Gigant from space to help out, so they are clearly the bad guys. And whenever Godzilla comes in, he's technically fighting the victims of a nuclear attack. It's so strange, you know. You'd think Godzilla was almost fighting for more nuclear bombs. Oh my god, Godzilla was in on it. Godzilla's been going on this goody two-shoes kick for too long now. Behind the scenes, all those underground nuclear tests were going on far away from Monster Island, so Godzilla would have plausible deniability, but close enough to where he could still get a hit. Godzilla vs. Megalon is proof that Godzilla is a drug addict. Let me explain. Now see, the bomb would go off and Godzilla would get a kick from it, and that would hurt his best friend Anguirus, and then whenever humanity's in trouble because, oh no, poor Seatopia, Harry Chest Seatopia is in trouble, they would send Gigant to fucking fix the problem, and then they would get Jet Jaguar. I am so mad that I can't even talk right now. They would get Jet Jaguar to go get Earth's little errand boy Godzilla to fix the day for them, and what would Godzilla get in return? He'd get more nuclear bombs to fuel his addiction. This son of a bitch sold out his best friend for a hit. Anguirus was in the hospital for 6 months!
Brian, you okay there?
Yeah, I'm okay.
It's gonna take this.
No, I need that. I can't stop abuse if I can't prove it. I don't know, man. At this point, nothing matters, man. I mean, Godzilla sold himself out to drugs, but I gotta finish the video. All right. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, everybody. Yay! Godzilla once resided in the unnatural realm because of nuclear bombs. Hooray! And now Mechagodzilla's in. So the facsimile of a living being replaces the living being in the unnatural realm or some overanalyzed bullshit. I mean, even Anguirus, who survived the unplanned chemotherapy appointment because of Godzilla, is able to recognize when he spots a fake. Even after what happened, he still just wants to help his friend. Godzilla is also part of some old prophecy or whatever saying he'll be there to save the world, which is kind of messed up considering that Godzilla being a part of this prophecy means that nuclear weapons and nuclear Armageddon, as portrayed by Godzilla, is an inevitability, which is terrible. And also, why didn't any of these prophecies ever go into the fact that Earth would be destroyed by monsters so many times? Huh? Why didn't you think of that one, Nostradamus? Also, Godzilla gets zapped by lightning and becomes a giant magnet. What? We're finally at the end of the line. Terror of Mechagodzilla marks the end of the continuity for nearly 20 years of Godzilla films. It's also the first direct sequel that we've seen since Godzilla Raids Again. And this film follows the exact same aliens from last time, rebuilding Mechagodzilla in order to try to invade Earth again with another kaiju named Titanosaurus. While I do find this film inferior to the previous one, I do want to talk about the human storyline. Dr. Mifune is a scientist who develops a device that allows him to control Titanosaurus. Years before, he was disgraced by the scientific community for claims that a dinosaur exists, and now he wants to reap his revenge on humanity for how it treated him. Now, this is all pretty standard, but I just want to mention that Even in the timeline presented in this film, literal dragons from outer space have invaded planet Earth, and no one ever thought to double check his claim about dinosaurs existing, which is really funny to me because he's treated as this wild conspiracy theorist, but like, Godzilla exists. Godzilla exists in this world, but a dinosaur, oh, no siree. The main thing I want to focus on here is his motivation. Since he was ostracized by the scientific community, Dr. Mifune grows to hate humanity and develops a device to control a monster and uses his own misfortune as an excuse to kill people for the sake of his daughter, whom he has been gaslighting into going along with his plan. Hot take, but Dr. Mifune is less interesting than Emma Russell in King of the Monsters. With that, we're officially done with the original run of Godzilla movies. They are wildly inconsistent in tone, context, quality, context, and quality, but that's what makes them special to me. You can have any kind of experience you want with these films. Next time, we'll be getting into the Heisei era, which is way more consistent in all these things, for better and for worse. But until then, I'm just gonna be waiting here. Can someone send me some snacks? I'm very hungry.